How was your set at that kava place?
Oh, dude. I think that, like, you had a really good set, and there was, like, a lot of fucking people there.
Yeah.
And then I thought that I was going to go up right after you, but I think that the host did, like, I think it was, like, 2 musical acts and then a poem. And then I went up right after the poem, which is not an easy place to go up.
Yeah.
This woman did, like, a poem about her pussy, and it was, like, just, like, this really intense, like, sexual liberation poem. And I was like, all right. And then I just went up, and it wasn't bad. I mean, I had, like, an okay set. But, yeah, it was my first time ever in a kava bar.
I've tried kava before, but I've never gone knee deep in the culture. Is it what it sounds like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it has like a pretty specific vibe up in that bitch.
It was a lot of sober people that didn't seem sober.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like, it's like people that are sober from hard drugs.
Yeah. And then they make like a really big deal about being sober, where they like talk about it all the time. But yeah.
Aren't you supposed to like drink it out of like a bowl, and there's like a communal bucket that you all like? You're supposed to like
throw up in.
I don't know. It's like ayahuasca, but just you only feel like shit or something.
It's like the way that they described it is like it's like alcohol, but you don't have the negative effects. You know?
You get the positive ones.
I get like it's like they said it was a social lubricant. But I don't know if I was getting scammed because I was like, I've never tried kava before. And she was like, well, you have like a reverse tolerance. So you have to drink like really strong kava to like get the effect. And I was like, okay. And she was like, so I wouldn't suggest the $4 one. I would suggest the $16 one. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever. Yeah.
Kava assholes. That's fun. I tried it one time at like a food truck court thing, and there was a kava thing, and they were giving out samples and stuff, and all I remember is it made my lips tingle.
Yeah, it does numb your mouth and throat.
Yeah, which is similar to something else there.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it like kratom, where it's like just a thing that gets you like kind of high or drunk but not?
I feel like that's probably in the same class of it. Like they're kind of similar.
Yeah, just annoying people doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jacob Jonas.
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to the Pretty Good Podcast, my man.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It's a pretty illustrious podcast. Hard to get on.
You guys have a huge ass fucking green screen?
Yeah, man. You're the first guest with our new mic setup. You're the first hands-free guest.
Dude, it's very perfect. Did you used to have like the holding mic? Dude, I appreciate the hands-free.
It's a game changer. The possibilities are so endless that I'm kind of scared.
I know, you can just like move around with your hands.
We could play rock, paper, scissors if we wanted to.
I could throw up gang signs.
Be careful with that one.
Make boob with your hands.
Boob.
That's my favorite gang sign.
The boob gang.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you've been living in a van?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've been living in a van on and off for about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 2008 Ford Econoline, and I got it off Facebook Marketplace, and it was like fully converted and everything. And the guy was selling it like really cheap. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll just say he's selling it for like $13,000.
Probably had a reverse tolerance.
Yeah, exactly. But like it was like with everything, and then I like knocked it down to $10,000, and I bought it within like 12 hours because I had been looking for a van for like 9 months.
Yeah,
and so I just got it, and then I hit the road, and yeah, I mean, I've just been doing comedy and shit all across the United States.
What's something you've noticed that like every town or city you go to that everyone complains about that they think is like a unique quirk to them, but you've noticed is kind of like bad drivers when they're everywhere?
Yeah. That's that's an interesting question. At least in terms of like comedy scenes, every comedy scene that I've been to has like a weird dude in the comedy scene. Do you guys?
If your group doesn't, then you're the weird one.
Yeah, literally. There's always like some oddball weirdo comedian where they're like, yeah, that's Frank or whatever, you know?
Where it's like they're fun to watch, but not really that funny sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's like you
yeah.
just know that they're weird and keep showing
feel
up
like
for some reason.
Pretty much.
I feel like that's the majority of the Boise comedy scene.
Some of that.
There's a lot of weirdos.
Sometimes I feel like him.
Yeah.
Dude, just name names. Who are you talking about?
I'm thinking of mainly the first guy that comes to mind is Chris Sundberg.
Oh.
Because he's like just kind of like he's funny as fuck, but he's like his shit is weird.
Yeah.
And like he does like a lot of like where it's like either prop stuff or like
dude.
Just like kind of like weird characters that he'll play and stuff, and a lot of times the crowd just does not get it.
Dude.
But
They're
all
like
the comics are
one-man
like
show
dying
and,
in the back. That was like my first thought for sure. And then like on the other side of the coin, there's like a weird guy that everybody hates, you know?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm not gonna say that one.
Dude. I'm just trying to make you burn bridges on your own podcast and then leave.
Nice.
No.
There's the fun weird and then the weird.
Yeah.
There's always like somebody who's most likely to commit a mass terrorist attack, you know?
There's like one guy, you know, that like I wouldn't want my, like if I had a girlfriend, I would like not feel comfortable like
leaving her with him.
alone
Yeah.
in a room.
God.
Where did you start doing stand up?
I'm from Denver, and I started in college in Durango, Colorado, which is like a very small mountain town. Like the scene, it was like they had a lot of really good opportunities. Like they had like a small theater there that, you know, the comics would do shows and shit at, but like literally the scene was like 10 or 13 people. Like it was super small. So I started there. I did that for about like 10 months or a year, and then I moved to Denver, did comedy in Denver for about 3 years. And then I moved into the van, and then I moved to Atlanta, and then half the years in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what club do you mainly like do bits out of Atlanta?
Atlanta, well, they have the Punchline, and then they have the Laughing Skull Lounge. And the Laughing Skull is like the best comedy club in the city.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I usually do stuff there. And it's a really cool club. Like I come from Denver with Comedy Works, because Comedy Works is like a really big club, like nationwide, and Comedy Works is like really hard to get into because the scene's really saturated.
Yeah.
But with the Laughing Skull, they put on like a lot more local talent, and so it's easier to kind of like get into the rotation of performing there.
Yeah, fun fact, the first club I've ever performed in was the Laughing Skull.
Really? In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I was there because I go to like Atlanta like 4 times a year for work. Because I like work for like a bike race company, and everyone that we work with is from Atlanta basically. So I'll fly into Atlanta. We'll drive to like some small town in Georgia, put on a bike race, and then I'll go and chill in Atlanta for like a day before I fly back. And I just was like messaging them on Instagram, and they're like, "Oh, we usually like are a week out, you know." And
Yeah.
they just like responded like 10 minutes before the show, and they're like, "Oh, we'll put you up if you want to show up," you know. And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" So they let me do like 5 minutes, and it was sick, dude. And I was like, it was crazy because I had never been in a green room before, like where you can like see a video feed of people on stage. I was like, holy shit, I'm in the big times now.
Yeah, like right behind the stage where they have like the multiple cameras or whatever. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was super cool, and like the stage was sick with like the skeleton up above it and stuff. It's tight. I did a couple other mics like around there. I did this one at like this Irish bar.
Yeah.
It was like a lightning mic.
Yeah, the lightning round at Limerick.
Yeah,
Limerick Junction, dude.
Fun.
That's a brutal mic sometimes, dude.
It was kind of brutal. There was this like late 80s couple in the front row, and everybody was just like talking to them the whole time.
Dude. Yeah, the first time I went to Atlanta before I even lived there, I was like it was the same thing where I like went to the Laughing Skull, and then I was planning on going to Limerick afterwards, and so I like pulled up to Limerick, and then I walked in, looked at it, and I was like, I'm not doing this. And I just walked out.
Yeah, I definitely probably could have made that same move.
It's like once you get into the scene and like you have like friends and stuff, it's really fun, Mike, because it's like a hang, you know.
Totally. That's what it seemed like. There was like 30 comics out back just chilling and stuff. And that's like the other thing is like the scene there seems so much more like, I mean, it's Atlanta. It's a huge city with like a film industry and everything. So there's a lot going on. It's really exciting going to places like that when you're from Boise.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have a pretty good scene here, though.
It's gotten a lot better over the years. Like, have you done stand-up here a lot, or?
No, this is my first time here.
Okay. We used to have like Liquid Laughs, which used to be a Funny Bone. And, that was like the club. And I think it was one of the only mics that they had for a few years where you could do like an open mic a week.
Right.
And every once in a while there'd be like one that would pop up somewhere for a week or so. But yeah, it was that forever. And then COVID killed that. And then it seems like since then they've just been, I mean, they were sprouting up before a little bit, but now there's almost a mic. Like, I think there is a mic every day of the week now.
Yeah, there is every day of the week. It's the first time since I started doing stand-up that there's been one every day of the week in Boise.
Wow.
Which is pretty sick. Because, like, I go to Portland a lot, too, and we'll do mics over there. And, like, their scene is, I would say, like, if Boise, like, we could have a scene like theirs, like, if we had, like, a helium, you know, like, something connected nationwide. Like, that's really the only piece of the puzzle that we're missing here.
Right.
To the comedy scene. But, like, as far as, like, the scene itself goes, like, it's really fun, and like there's a lot of opportunity because like there's a lot of younger people that are like hungry for stand-up but they don't know where to go for it, or like you know, and so there's a lot of opportunity to just go up to venues and be like, yo, let me do a show. You know, which is nice because you don't have like there's not a lot of competition really like amongst the comics because it's like we all have plenty of space and spots to do.
Yeah, I was talking to Ian. Do you know Ian? Yeah, I think he's moving to Portland, but he said the same thing where it's like when you don't have like industry in a town, like a solid like hierarchy of like talent where you can like work towards, it makes it a little more difficult. But it seems like you guys have a really good independent scene. I know that you guys just have like a Don't Tell here, like in the past year or whatever.
Yeah, we do have a Don't Tell. I've been trying to get onto it for a little while, but they do every Saturday, and apparently they sell out like almost every Saturday. So, but yeah, Ian and Josh. Did you meet Josh too, or just Ian?
What does Josh look like?
Josh is like dark hair, goatee.
I don't think so.
Okay. But they've done the Don't Tell like probably more than anybody else, I would say, around here. I don't know. The Don't Tell thing is like, I don't know if they actually like look at their online submissions here.
Oh yeah.
Or if the guy just like kind of books whoever he like sees and like wants to book, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've like submitted onto the online thing so many times and just never get a confirmation email even. And I'm like, is this set up or am I that bad? Like, what's happening? I get booked at other things.
Right.
Riveting.
Yeah.
How'd your first time doing stand-up go?
First time I ever did stand up, I was in Durango, and it was still like I've been doing stand up for like 6 years, and it's still like one of the best venues that I've ever performed at because it's like this underground bar, but it's like set up like a comedy club, and it's like a totally dark room spotlight, and the crowd was like so good. But I went up, and then I had like a 5-minute set planned out, and the first like 2 or 3 jokes fucking bombed really bad, and it was just like not good. And then I was like, okay, if this next joke doesn't do well, I'm never gonna do this. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm never gonna do this ever again, ever.
Yeah.
And then the third joke did like okay, like I got some laughs, and then it was just like from there, I was like, I just kept doing it. But sometimes I look back and I'm like, I kind of wish that third joke bombed. You know?
Do you remember what the joke was?
I was like, I think
unless it's like your big closer.
Yeah, I still use it to this day. It's been 6 years. I think it was something. I had like a big bit about like finding roommates off Craigslist or something, and it was like I was like, I said, like, it's awkward because you don't know the roommate. And, you know, it's like hard to say, like, hey, can you do the dish? Because you don't know him. So you're like, hey, can you do the dishes? Can you clean up can you stop masturbating in the main room? And then it was like a funny little joke. Like, it's not a great joke or whatever, but then it did okay. And I was like, hell yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's sick. So,
yeah.
You do like YouTube and stuff too, right? Like
yeah. I've been working on like a video project for the past 2 years where I like travel the country and I ask people what they think the future of the United States looks like, and it's like political questions, but it's not like it's not like surface level political questions. I'm trying to like find like the reason why people believe what they believe, and I'm trying to find like common political ground between opposing political sides. And yeah, sometimes it's harder. It's not easy, but and there's a lot of people who are really pessimistic about the future of the United States. But you know, I'm trying to be more optimistic, as lame as that sounds. You know.
Yeah. What do you think the Earth will look like?
I ask people what they think the country will look like in 20 years. I don't know, dude. I think that we have the potential to be like a fucking amazing society with like the advent of like AI and technology and whatever. But it seems like we're kind of taking the other path of not being great and being more divided. But I'm trying, like, I don't know. I mean, there's still hope. So
aside from like killing myself, what's something I could do in a day to like make the world a little better?
That's a good, I mean, for me, like, since I've been doing this video project, I think the biggest thing is like actively seek out and find people that you disagree with, and then have like a conversation on the basis of like respect and actual mutual understanding, and try to like find common ground with anything, like even if it's not even political, even if you're like, do you like smoking weed? And then they do, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have a lot more in common than we actually are led to believe.
We all like getting fucked up.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Republican, Democrat, dude. Yeah. Coke, acid, weed, doesn't matter,
I want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
How long have you guys been doing stand-up?
I started about a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
A little bit longer than that. Like, I think the first set I ever did was like in like August of like 2022, and then I didn't do it again until like January
of 23.
23, and that's when I like really started like doing it.
Nice.
Like trying to go every day because I got laid off, and I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah. What about you?
Off and on for like 4 or 5 years ish, maybe a little more, and then the last like year or two more consistently.
Nice.
Yeah, did a lot of like film acting or like comedy acting after like my first like I did stand up at first. That was my first like performy thing, and then got into like film and stuff through that, and then moved away from stand up, and then whenever I had lulls in films, stand up was like a thing to do that would kind of flex a performy creative muscle.
Nice.
And now we are here.
Nice, dude. You're doing a podcast in a basement, bro. That's the general trajectory of comedian and actors
who live in vans.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool, dude. Were you doing like commercials or like actual films?
Yes and yes. My I guess first real paid acting thing was a commercial.
Wow.
But I don't know. I like more live theater kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like not saying no to any performing thing. It's all fun. I think it all helps with everything.
Yeah. What was your first commercial?
It was for a company that it was like you bought school supplies through that website or something, and then they donate some of what you paid for those school supplies to like a thing to get kids who can't afford school supplies.
Nice.
And yeah, I was a sign spinner guy who was like trying to advertise a thing, and then my boss came up and he was like mad at me or something, and I quit on the spot sort of thing, and then he has to do my job because it's a one-man show now.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's in Kuna, Idaho.
Wow, hell yeah.
Not to brag.
Dude, I don't even know where that is.
That's okay.
Is this your first time in Idaho?
This is my first. Well, I was last summer. I was traveling from actually Durango, Colorado, to the Gorge.
Oh yeah.
And I stopped in Idaho Falls, I think, for a night.
Ugh.
I know. And then I just I went straight to Washington, but. Yeah, it's my first time in Boise. The only reason I was in Idaho Falls the only reason I was going to the Gorge is I have like a temporary gig. I keep saying it's a temporary gig, but I've been doing it for 2 years where I sell enamel pins at electronic music festivals.
Oh, that's such a lucrative fucking.
Do you know about it?
I've known a couple of people who do this as like a financial
It's
thing,
insane,
and they make
dude.
incredible amounts of money on at Beyond Wonderland and shit like that.
It's crazy. And it's like, I mean, I don't know how big this podcast is, but like I'm not like saying like how much or whatever, but it's like lucrative enough where I can like do like 3 or 4 festivals over the summer and not work like a regular job.
What are enamel pins?
So it's like, like it's basically like a huge marketplace where like people put
like a button or a pin.
Yeah, it's like a button or a pin.
Like a campaign button that you would see.
But it's like pieces of art that people like make, and then it's like a huge market like in, EDM spaces or whatever where people will put pins on like hats and jackets or whatever. Okay. And so I work with an artist who makes them, and it's like a commission job. So I get like a percentage of commission for whatever I sell, and then he like pays for like the tickets and travel and whatever.
Dang.
Yeah. So I just did Electric Forest, and then I'm gonna do Bass Canyon.
And you're like in the venue, like set up inside, or you're like no?
It's like guerrilla style.
Yeah, you gotta like set up in the campsite.
Yeah, it's like illegal, dude.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I thought.
It's crazy because it's like I have to we like hide the pins in like my car or whatever, and then like they search and whatever, and they're like looking for drugs.
Please find the drugs.
Yeah, literally. I'll put like an ounce of coke on top of the pin so they find that, But no, it's like, and then I also sell like, I literally just sell like ripped off fucking logos from like the festival and shit.
Yeah.
Like I sell Electric Forest pins. Like I'm gonna sell Bass Canyon pins, and I just
you're
like
a hero.
I literally, and it's crazy because I'm like, I like EDM to an extent, but I'm not like super into the scene. But it's like some of the shit that I do is just cringe. Like I go to like I work around the venue. Like I go to individual campsites.
Or you like trench coating?
Literally, that's exactly. I have like a pin board, and I just like walk up and I'm like, "What's up, homies? You guys want to scope some pins?" Like it's so cringe, dude.
And you got like your pashmina on.
Yeah, I just like blend in. I'm like, I'm one of you guys, And they're like fucking $60 each, dude. And it's
oh my god,
it's crazy. People pay for them, dude.
Yeah, because everyone at music festivals nowadays are influencers.
Literally, dude.
Oh my god.
By the time I think this podcast gets any traction at all, the statute of limitations will probably be way past.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be done selling pins by then, so I won't give a fuck. Yeah. But it's like
I'm in pretty deep right now.
Yeah, so I've been to like a bunch of festivals. Like I went to one. I went to like Okeechobee. The Okeechobee in Florida was my first one.
That sounds fun, actually.
It was a good fest. And then Electric Forest, Bass Canyon. I go to Lost Lands in Ohio, which is actually it's the same place that the Gathering of the Juggalos was
really?
at. Yeah, the Juggalo guy?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was actually, the Gathering of the Juggalos was the first place that I ever went when I got my van, and then I like fixed it up, and I went literally straight from Denver to Ohio to the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Damn.
Yeah. I didn't sell pins, I just wanted to see.
went to see the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Was that like when you went to the Juggalos, did you like do like an interview?
Yeah.
Content?
Yeah. So I basically like went and I do like a narration type thing where I like kind of talk about what I noticed and whatever. And then I also like interviewed Juggalos about their political affiliation. And, dude, a lot of them had no fucking idea. Like, a lot of them were like, yeah, I'm like a Marxist capitalist. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jumbo Shrimp.
Dude,
You sell books on social media.
But yeah, no, and yeah, they also have crazy names. I met one guy named Fago Warrior. You know Fago?
Yeah, that guy had probably drank a lot of Fago.
Oh yeah, dude. But yeah, it was crazy, dude.
That was my nickname in high school. I think that's what they said.
But yeah, it was like literally like the craziest. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I'll probably go back eventually, like 1 year. But yeah, it was awesome. I fucking loved it.
Have you thought about doing Sturgis ever?
Oh yeah,
the motorcycle. It's the motorcycle one, and like I think it's in South Dakota.
Yeah,
and it's like this big like Harley like motorcycle club gathering, and it's kind of like similar to like I feel like those kind of events like where it's like a gathering of like a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah,
just get fucked up, and it's a good place to interview crazy people.
Yeah, and like I feel like Sturgis is like a very American type thing.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Like one of the most American. You can't get more American than a bunch of fucking old fat people on Harleys.
Harleys. It's more American than fucking apple pie, dude.
Put that on a flag.
So did you go to school for like journalism, or how'd you get into the interviewing people and stuff?
I was always interested in it. Like I've been video editing and like videography more or less for like 4 years, and I really started to enjoy it. And then I've always wanted to try. Like even before I started stand up, I always wanted to travel the United States. And so like the mix of like the video project, stand up, and then buying a van, I was just like, fuck it, this is just like what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I really enjoy it. It's like really fun. It's cool to just like meet new people, talk to them, and then just like film a bunch of cool shit that I see.
That sounds dope. I want to do that.
Seems like just an elaborate front to launder all your pins.
My pin money. Yeah,
I just keep thinking about like a Breaking Bad style thing, but like people have died.
Yeah, it's like actually a very violent underworld of pin selling.
Record like a Vice style.
Dude, honestly.
The guys are like wearing like ski masks.
And they have like the voice changer. Yeah.
I don't know. I move probably 400 pins every festival.
400, dude. It's like 1,000, 1,500, dude. It's crazy.
I'm at $500,000.
I mean, I can do some quick math.
Bob Ross.
$6,000 a festival.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Honestly, it probably would be a good Vice documentary because, like, the company I work for is like we're kind of like I'm not trying to flex, but like we're like the top like pin sellers in the EDM scene.
Don't say that, man. People might come after you.
Yeah. Break my fucking kneecaps.
Yeah, you're gonna have a couple of fucking pin boys.
You're gonna have to get some pins in your bones.
But yeah, no, there's like a lot of rogue. They call them rogue vendors, and there's like rogue vendors who with like T-shirts and like random shit at every fest.
Dude, that's how I found out that Biden was stepping down today. It was like a meme on Instagram, and it was like the people selling Facebook Marketplace "Let's Go Brandon" T-shirts, and it's some guy like, "Fuck,
yeah,
no."
There's all those "fuck Biden" flags too, and I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are they gonna do?
Yeah, dude, it's just.
What do you guys remember where you were when you heard that Joe Biden?
Like it's 9/11.
I remember when he dropped out, man.
God. I wonder if there's like any actual like real Biden fans that are like, no, no.
He gonna save
so
it.
Good in those aviators, bro.
He needed those 4 more years. It's a slow build. It's like a long joke. The punchline was worth it.
Dude, I had a couple of people be like, where were you? I heard them like talking about this around town this week. Do you remember where you were when Trump was shot?
When Trump was almost assassinated?
I was like, no, because I also found that out through memes. It was a fucking another T-shirt selling meme, and it was like the dudes in like Harlem already with the prints.
Oh like, yeah, I did see that, dude. Within like 30 minutes, they just had the picture printed on a fucking shirt.
Well, no one ever like stops class and wheels in a big TV to show us big important news updates anymore. So I didn't find out till like a week later.
That is true, dude. It's not like 9/11.
Yeah, I'm not gonna seek the news out. It like used to find me. Why should it be any different now?
Yeah.
Probably not in class. Anyways. Oh, so you know that Dan Soder joke? You know him?
Yeah.
Have you heard his joke about the like Enrique Iglesias Hero song and with it being mashed over with audio from 9/11?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's from his new special.
It's a really funny joke where they, I guess, for a while on the radio after would play Hero, but they would put like audio, like literal audio from like phone calls and stuff going on in 9/11 of like, holy shit, the plane's fucking hijacked. And then just, I can be your hero, baby. But the question, do you think they're going to start doing things like that for like OJ or Trump or
what, like mashing up his voice over?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe like a Creed song or something.
I bet there's already a couple edits out there.
Just let me get my shoe.
Yeah,
Can you?
I mean, the edit when like, do you watch Kill Tony at all?
Yeah,
Did you watch the last episode with like?
Oh, with Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
when he like came out in the edit, they like overlaid of Trump with the Eagles. Like, dude, I've seen a lot of those on TikTok. To be honest,
the Kill Tonys. Yeah,
like those specific edits of Trump. Like, there's like people out there that are really into like editing, like these like fucking epic like.
So you know what
badass montages of like, Trump.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen those before. Where it was like, dude, God, they're so cringe, bro. I watched one where it's like, I think you know Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
They had like an Andrew Tate quote where he was like, imagine shooting a man and then him standing there unfazed, and then it was like fucking dubstep with Trump, and I'm like, dude, this is insane.
I want to get famous enough to let people do that for me.
Like, I know there had to be like some 16-year-old who's just really good at CapCut that is like, this is gonna slap, dude.
Exactly.
This is, I guess now thinking about it before I say it, it's gonna sound like a flex, but that's like an annoying thing that happens when you have like anyone who's a little bit famous following you on Instagram or something, is that you get like spam accounts that are full of videos and stuff like that of that person that follow you afterwards, but they never like anything that you post or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like if your friend is like hot or something, a bunch of 16-year-olds make edits of them looking at
doing
the camera.
Like, yeah, like mewing or whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
So when you're interviewing people on the street, Jacob, and you know you're talking about subjects that people may tend to get a little riled up when talking about, how do you keep these people, again, how do you keep them from going from how do you keep it a discussion and not an argument? You know what I mean?
No, that's a good question, dude.
Is it?
No, it was a good question, but you did the weird voice thing, and I was like, this is a good question.
Thank you.
My thing is always like, I'm like, I try to remain like with my like what I talk about during the videos, like my portion, I'm like, I have my opinions or whatever, but when I'm interviewing people, I always try to remain as unbiased as possible. And so, dude, if somebody has like a fucking crazy opinion or they want to like go off, I just fucking let that shit happen.
Have you ever had someone do that and you had to be like, oh damn, I think you changed my mind,
dude?
It's still pretty warm.
Like, that's a very good
chilling.
point.
Dude, I was interviewing people on my birthday in Austin. I was on 6th Street, and dude, there was I think he was an Arab dude. I'm almost positive he was an Arab dude, but he was like a diehard Trump supporter, and he was wasted, and he was like yelling into the mic. He was like, "Trump is the best president ever. I fucking love Trump." Yeah, he didn't have one. If he had one, I would. Whoa. I should. Yeah, I should just do a Chinese accent. But no, that really surprised me. But yeah, I have like a lot of people. Whatever people say, like I usually non-judgmentally, I'm like, fucking speak your truth, dude. I want to hear it. You know.
Have you ever heard any like wacky conspiracy theories?
No, not so far. I mean, I've done like about maybe like 50 or 60 interviews over the 2 years, and nobody's like really conspiratorial. But I mean, I have like a lot of people who are like, I want the fucking federal government to fall, you know, like people who are like preparing for like a civil war and shit. And that's always interesting, but nobody who's like giving me like a crazy conspiracy theory, you know?
Yeah.
How many cities have you done interviews in?
I don't know. I've really started hammering them out in the past 2 months since I got on the road, and I'm gonna keep doing it until the election. But I've done, I mean, in the past 2 months, I did Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, South Dakota, North Dakota. I didn't get any in Montana, and then I also didn't get any here. But I'm going to Oregon. I'm going to Bend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I heard that
Gorgeous.
that's I've heard it's gorgeous. I also heard that it's a very crazy hippie town.
It is. Yeah. It's a cool kind of hippie town, but it's funny because the entire way there is conservative Americana.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
As soon as you leave Boise, you will not see another liberal until you get to Bend. That's pretty much how that works.
That's crazy.
It's pretty nuts.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I'm that's kind of how Atlanta is in Georgia, because
Yeah,
Atlanta,
absolutely.
obviously a majority black city, very liberal, and then they have a lot of comedy in Asheville, North Carolina,
Okay.
and Asheville is a mega liberal hippie town, it's very concentrated, but on the way you pass by you're literally on the border from Georgia to North Carolina, or no, I think you go through Tennessee and then you go to North Carolina. On the border, there's a fucking literally 100-foot by 100-foot Confederate flag that's just waving above the fucking, and it's just damn, dude, it's crazy.
No, that's some crazy shit, because one of the small towns that is in southern Georgia that we do this bike race in, and right in front of City Hall is this huge obelisk. It's 20 feet tall, and on either side is Robert E. Lee and fucking Jefferson Davis. And then on the obelisk it says respect to our fallen brothers,
Jesus,
and then it has the
dude.
years of the Civil War on it. And you're
The respect to our boys.
wow, dude. That's crazy. And then the theater, you go into their old theater that's really nice, and it's got the carvings on the top with the Confederate flag painted, and you're it's an old theater, and you're oh, it was built in 1903. Oh, it was remodeled in 2008. Oh shit.
Some touch-up paint.
Yeah, there's a lot of those statues or whatever that where you're oh, they must have been built right after the Civil War, and you're oh, they were built during the Civil Rights Movement. You're God damn.
Oh shit. These guys were trying to prove a point.
Yeah, they were trying to stake their ground.
Yeah.
Dude, I lean towards if I have enough money, I'm making a statue for myself, dude. Fuck Mark Twain.
I'm doing a big
of
statue.
yourself?
Yeah, of myself. With just a bigger hog than I have.
Big muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe a couple of hot ladies up on your leg.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a couple inches taller. I don't know.
Made out of copper. Gets
Yeah,
stolen in a
Well,
week.
and then I'll be also maybe there's a stream of water that comes out of the penis into the moat.
Yeah. God. Why were you in Vegas?
I was in stand-up.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do stand up?
I did a show at the Rick's Rollin' Smoke Barbecue Smoke and Lounge or something. The Rick from Pawn Stars.
Oh, really?
His bar.
Damn. Did you meet Rick? Was he there?
No, but they did have Pawn Stars playing on the TVs in there.
Oh, nice, dude.
And
That'd be so funny.
It's kind of cool. They're all in the Pawn Stars thing, and the bar and grill are all in the same parking lot, so you can go to the Pawn Stars thing and then go have a Pawn Stars drink after. And
Nice.
They must have added that in the last 10 years, because when I went down there for my dad's wedding and we went to the pawn shop, there wasn't the barbecue there.
I looked it up a little bit ago, and I saw a review made in 2015. Do what you want with that. But yeah, and then another show at just some bars that the Pawn Stars didn't own. So,
Nice. Were they good shows?
The one at Rick's was good, and then the other two were all right. They weren't bad, but
I've always been curious as to what I've never done comedy in Las Vegas.
I was asking a few people before I went for this trip, and the general thing I heard was it's just very hit or miss. Like
They
it's
have
good or
wise
it's
guys there, don't they?
They do have wise guys, yeah.
I think,
they have a few like pretty notable like Kimmel has a club there.
Okay.
I heard they don't have a bathroom.
At Kimmel's Club? Yeah. He's like, piss your pants. I don't give a shit.
It's like,
this is the big leagues.
This is the
You have
man
to, like, go
show.
into
The man show.
Yeah, you have to like go into like another building, and it's like a whole thing. But, yeah, what were we talking about?
In comedy scene in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I had basically just heard that like it's very hit or miss. Either the crowd is good, and I was there because I did a few open mics the last time I was there, and then met some people, and then came back out again and tried the stuff that I had done at the mics before, where I met everyone that went better than any of the shows I did this week. But they would I would tell them the exact same way, and they would do well at this one, and then no one would get it at the other one, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was hit or miss for sure, but everyone was nice.
I've always been curious because I feel like Vegas is like a very. I feel like there'd be like a lot of weird performer comedians, like weird, like just like oddball people, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean everyone was super nice. That was cool. I remember some of the comics after one of the shows was like, "Your material's good, it's just not the audience." And I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was a good time.
One of my buddies works like as a door guy at the Wise Guys there.
Oh, nice.
And he like just started doing stand up though. And like goes on the mics there every now and again. But it seems like they have good audiences there. I would imagine that like the most of the comedy scene, like audience members in Vegas are locals.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's probably not most people that visit Vegas are on the Strip or Fremont.
Yeah,
you know?
and I feel like they would probably like if you're going to see a comedy show in Vegas, you'd want to see like somebody big.
Exactly,
you know?
and like when you have like all the huge names that have residencies in all the casinos, like
Yeah.
and it's $30 that you can charge to your room to go see Daniel Tosh or whatever.
literally.
Like I think I'd rather do that than going to a.
See like some local showcase, you know.
Yeah. It was political discourse or something. You're from Denver, Colorado, Durango. Get out of Dodge. You ski?
I do. Well, I snowboard. I haven't snowboarded in like. Well, no, I snowboarded over this past summer when I went back to Colorado. But yeah, I mean, I used to snowboard all the time, like in high school and college. One of my roommates in college, like he skied a bunch and he like shattered his hip while he was skiing.
Yes.
I don't even know why I brought that up, but
It happens.
it happens.
Fucking pussy.
There's a bunch of you guys ski a lot, right? Do you guys do you both ski?
Yeah, that's like how we became friends, kind of.
Oh, nice.
Was skiing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ski a shit ton.
I'm assuming there's probably pretty good fucking skiing in Idaho.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of like the hidden gem. I feel like.
Yeah,
of, like,
yeah.
Snow quality in central Idaho, at least, like in North Idaho. But yeah, we grew up in McCall, which is like 100 miles north of here. It's like a touristy, small lake town with a couple resorts.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bend.
And so
okay.
we had this like thing called we had this place called the Little Ski Hill, and it's like been around since the 30s.
Oh wow.
And it used to be like a ski jumping place, and like it's like had Olympians come out of it from the past, but now it's just a T-bar with a little lodge, and they have a school bus that like takes kids from the schools to there for like an after school program. So like we would just go ski every single day after school until
Really?
like 10 p.m. Yeah, they'd have the lights on. And
Is
stuff.
it like a big mountain or is it
No,
like
it's like a tiny hill with like 4 runs, and they have a T-bar that takes you like
Yeah.
maybe 1,000 feet up, if that. And then they have like a really good train park, and like,
nice.
they're just really supportive of like the kids, and like the passes are like $30 or whatever.
Oh,
so
nice,
you can just
dude.
go every day after school.
That's like unmatched. Like in fucking Colorado, like so many people have moved to Colorado, and then if you get like for a couple of years, I had. I forget, what was it called? It was like the there's like multiple passes.
The Icon or
Yeah,
Epic
I had the
Pass.
Icon for 2 years, and then I had some like cheaper pass, but like literally they're like fucking
Pass.
$1,300. Like it's crazy for
Yeah.
the season. Yeah, and like Summit County, like all like Breck, Copper, Keystone, even A Basin. Like even if you get a pass, they have like blackout dates. So they're like this pass doesn't work. You know, Christmas weekend it doesn't work. Like Labor Day, whatever.
And those are like the only days that I can go. No, I saw A-Basin like this last season just got bought out by like one of the big mountains.
That
like,
sucks,
it was like
dude.
one of the last like independent owns to go.
And
usually the
A-Basin
first to open.
Yeah, and A-Basin was like that's where like all. I mean, like for a couple of years, A-Basin was like the only place that I went because like. Keystone, Breck, whatever, they would always be packed. It was always like a pain in the ass. And then A-Basin, it was just like local Coloradans, you know?
Yeah, our friend Mary, like she moved to, they moved to Vail, and she was there for like 6 months and was like, I fucking hate it here.
Yeah,
I gotta get the fuck out.
It's just like literally like a bunch of Californians, you know?
But then I have some other friends who moved to like Boulder or like Denver proper, and like they love it there, you know?
Yeah,
but they also are like architects and shit, you know, and like can afford to live in the nice parts of the city and do whatever the fuck they want, you know. So I don't know. I like wanted to move to Denver for a little while when I was younger, but then like I'm at the point now where I'm like, Boise is just like I have just like as much skiing, just as close. I fucking have my family right here. It's like a budding comedy scene, like,
and you have like less
less cheap.
People.
Yeah, less people, and it's cheap as fuck to live here.
Yeah,
like, this place is unbelievably cheap. Like, it's fucking crazy.
No, and you guys have like a good city too. I mean, it's like obviously it's like smaller than Denver or whatever, but it's like it's good. You know?
No, and then like you saw like the bridge and the river and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's like a good thing that you guys have is that you have like serious nature pretty close. Yeah. Which Denver doesn't have. Yeah. Like Denver, like Colorado, like the surrounding area of Denver is great, but you have to drive like 45 minutes or like an hour. You know. And
then you get stuck in that fucking traffic and it turns into like 4.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's such a bottleneck out of that city. It's so stupid.
Dude, I mean, and Denver compared to like Atlanta traffic is literally, I mean, you probably know. Yeah. Dude, it is the worst in the country.
It's so bad. Trying to drive a fucking full U-Haul through Atlanta is like... That was like my first job when I got there. We like fly in and we go fill this U-Haul up in this sketchy ass fucking neighborhood. Like legit the hood.
You're like in fucking East Atlanta, like one of the worst fucking places.
We were straight in East Atlanta. I'm like looking around and I'm like we're in College Hill or whatever.
Yeah,
like, I don't like this.
No, dude.
I'm from Idaho, man. And I'm like my boss is like, well, you wait at this U-Haul while I go and run and grab this? I'm like, no. No, I won't wait at this fucking U-Haul next to the strip club and the tobacco store.
God.
Fuck you, dude.
Dude, there's like fucking insane people in Atlanta. I was at a gas station in Atlanta, and this dude, he was like, I was like buying like fucking Zins or something. I was buying something, and this guy was like, "Yo, can you like?" He accosted me outside the store. He's like, "Can you buy me like a pack of cigarettes? Like, I'll give you the money. I just can't buy it." And then he was like, "Okay," and then he gave me $3, and I'm like, "No, dude." Like it was just like and shit like that happens fucking all the time.
Dude, the first time I'm in Atlanta, I'm like, we're getting dinner, and we're in East Atlanta, and it's like that one strip of East Atlanta that's kind of like gentrified a little bit, like it's got like the nice restaurants and stuff, and then at the end of the street there's like that almost like Ironsides style building with the bar inside.
Is it like it splits?
Yeah. I can't remember, but I'm like, I go into this vape shop and I'm like, hey man, I need some weed. Like, can you sell me some weed? And he's like, I got some like Delta 9 or whatever. I'm like, I need real weed, brother. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And I'm like, okay, is there an ATM around here anywhere? And he's like, yeah, we're over there. So I go across the street and I walk down to the ATM, and right next to the ATM on a bench is like this crackhead. And I'm like at the ATM. He's like, hey man, can I have $60? And I'm like, how do you know I'm pulling out 60? Like, what the fuck?
That's actually a great fucking place for a homeless dude.
And like, and then I'm like, no man, I need this for weed. Yeah. And he's like, oh no, you're chilling, I get it. Yeah. And then I go across and I like buy it and I come back out, and now he's crossed the street. And he's right next to like where I'm walking, and he's like, hey man, can I have $10? And I'm like, how do you know what I just paid for the weed?
He has like a fucking like mic with the guy who's like giving you the weed.
Oh yep, okay.
He has $10 left. Hell yeah.
Smell your weakness,
dude.
Swindle you.
There's East Atlanta Village, or actually, oh, fuck, I forgot what this street is called, but there's basically a street where there's just like a shit ton of like comedy open mics, and I was like outside of a comedy open mic one time in Atlanta, and there was like a homeless crackhead, and he was like fucking yelling and whatever, and all my like comic friends, we were just chilling, like talking, and he like passes us, he's like yelling and angry, and I'm like, what's that guy's problem? And then he passes us, and he just has like literally like a chunk of the back of his head is just taken out, and it's just bleeding, dude. It was like out of The Walking Dead. I was like, oh my God, bro, this shit is crazy.
Dude, that's insane. The last time I was there, I like stayed in this weird little Airbnb that was like an old church that had been renovated to like an Airbnb. And I'm like it was like it wasn't an Airbnb, it was like a B&B. Like someone had individually renovated this place, and it was like right on the border of like, you know where like the Olympic grounds are?
Yeah.
And like they're doing all that construction, but like you keep going up that street and like you get in the neighborhoods kind of.
Yeah.
It was up there, but the neighborhood it was in was like, it's so funny. Like Atlanta is so wild because you'll see like a border of gentrification.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
The neighborhood I'm in, like the house across the street from my B&B has like a car in the driveway on cinder blocks and like 6 dudes outside with no shirts on.
Just
like,
chilling, yeah.
Just chilling, like smoking blunts. And then like I look down and I see a brick laid path, like skyrise apartments, and some like white mom walking her like Shih Tzu and like,
and like, and like a fucking stroller.
And then I like ride my bike and I like get down to this park and there's just like this huge party at this park and like people are drinking, smoking and shit. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy, dude. Like how much partying is going on in the city at all times. Like,
it is, dude.
People are always doing something there.
Man.
It's crazy. Atlanta's like a sick, like, and like half of the crazy fucking Instagram reels and shit, if you see like, where you see like fucking insane, like, dude, like fucking souped up cars, like drag races, fucking cop chases or whatever. Most of those come out of like Atlanta. Like I'll literally, like I saw like a reel the other day and it was like a high speed fucking police chase. And I was like, that dude is taking my exit right now.
It's like you just film it.
Yeah, like I just like, like I literally, I was like, damn, I take that every day. But like Atlanta's crazy because it's like the deep South, and they have like what I like about the East Coast of the United States is that they have more history.
I love that too. That's my favorite thing about the East and just like other places in the world is like deeper history. Like being from the West, we have none of that except for like, you know, like native markings and stuff. But like, there's no like real,
which is
like,
important.
That is important in history, but there's no like, there's none of my heritage.
No, but it is like
Twain statue.
Yeah, like growing up in like the western half of the United States, like I grew up in Denver or whatever. Everything is post Civil War.
Exactly.
So it's like 1864 and on. But like if you go to like the thing about like Atlanta is that there was like literal Civil War battles in the middle of Atlanta. Yeah, which is kind of sick, dude.
Like you can see old cannons in parks and shit.
Yeah. And then you also see you can also see like old money. Yeah. Like if you go into the neighborhoods in Atlanta, like there's like fucking old mansions where you're like, that was during the Civil War, you know?
We did
Mossy
like a
stone lions out front.
Yeah, literally.
We did a bike race in Auburn, Alabama, like this last like spring, and I had to go out to this church to like pick up these tables, and to drive out there, I had to drive through like the richest neighborhood in Auburn, dude, and like the houses and properties just all over the South are like we have huge houses on lakes here and stuff, but it's all like, you know, lodge style. Yeah. There's something like just different about Southern like architecture.
Yeah, more land for sure.
I read Zillow listings with a Southern accent.
Fucking crazy. They just
four-bedroom house.
They have like 12 columns.
No, seriously.
Like the columned houses are insane.
Yeah, you'll see that where it's like just like a pure white house, and then it has like 4 columns in the front, and then it's on like it's on a piece of property that's like 160 acres.
Yeah, and it has like a pond in the front, and then there's like and then they have like the old cinder block houses like right next to the highway, you know, and you're like, oh, I know what those were for.
It's like if someone tried to make a castle.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
But still wanted a cool roof.
Yeah, but Atlanta's great, dude. Atlanta has a really good comedy scene. Like a big reason why I moved there is because my dad's side of the family is like from there, so like I have a place to stay, and like I don't have like I pay rent or whatever, but I don't have a lease, and so I can leave whenever. But like it was just added benefit that the comedy scene was like it's really good.
It is a cool scene there. Like honestly, like the entire like I feel like Atlanta in general has like one of the coolest populations of people like in the US, like as far as like people our age and like young people that are social and like doing cool shit. Like Atlanta is one of the places to be for sure right now.
Oh yeah, and with the film industry and shit, like there's like a lot of comedians are also they do a lot of shit with like commercials and filming and whatever. So you might want to move there.
A lot of film people from here have been moving there.
Mm-hmm. It is. They call it the like the Holly. It's like the second highest compared to Hollywood.
They have a really big industry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like most people that we like hire like part-time on our bike races are like full-time grips and like shit. Like,
yeah, no, like that's, dude. Tyler Perry films a bunch of shit out there, and
he has a studio.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of extra work all the time, and like I've like kind of applied to it, but I really haven't tried. But like, there's a lot of comedians that have done extra work, and they're like, Tyler Perry fucking pays the best. Like, you just like you get, I think it's like 250 or 300 a day, and then you get like a paid lunch, and then you have to work for like sometimes it's like 12 hours, but sometimes it's like an hour and a half, which is sick.
Pretending to eat.
Yeah, you're in like
awesome.
Big Mama's house 70. You know? Good.
Well, hell yeah, dude. We're at about our limit here.
Hell yeah, dude.
Do you want to say any last things?
Fucking, I don't know, prepare for the end of the world. No, I'm just kidding. You can follow me on Instagram, Jankem Jones, JENKEM Jones. Same thing on TikTok, and then Jacob Jonas Comedy on YouTube. And I release videos. Try to do it every Monday. So.
Shit, yeah, dude.
Nice. And ours come out on Tuesdays, so you can watch him and then watch us the next day.
Dude, hell yeah.
Well, thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. I appreciate that.